So I want to cover a special topic today, and it's about what happens if your agent workflows are not properly optimized. And to be honest, agent workflows are never properly optimized. Like there's always something to improve. That's just the nature of the game. I mean, you know that better than me if you're in the business of managing contact centers or creating flows or whatever in contact centers. And I think it's a topic that we spend, I would say, it's like a 50% time topic for us, where we're constantly looking at every single part of agent workflows and how they can be improved. And interestingly, I think we know because we work across so many industries and because we integrate with so many systems of record, I mean, CRMs and ticketing systems and case management and all kinds of stuff, we actually see all the data and what's going on. And it's interesting that a lot of contact centers buy into some cool SaaS tool, which is very powerful, like Salesforce or Zendesk or Freshdesk or customer.com or, et cetera, Microsoft Dynamics. We integrate with all of these and many more. And so you often see that a company has those and they've got great plans about what to do, but you visit the company 6 months after deployment and there's still like, it's not that there's 5% improvement left. They're like often 40-50% off the mark, where there are all kinds of processes inside that, where the agent mainly works inside that interface, that are just broken, really. Like where the agent is on a call or on a chat and it has to search for things, or there are fields available for them to fill out which they shouldn't fill out and can't fill out. But they're taking up all the real estate space and therefore cognitive, energy and space for the agent as well. You see that there are processes that could be done in the background that are not done. Like, so there's data that was collected during the earlier interaction, but the agent has to collect it again, which means that it's wasting the agent time. It's actually wasting the consumer time. And what happens, I think, when you've got this situation is that every single agent minute, you're losing 20 seconds or 10 seconds or whatever it might be. And I mean, it'll be obvious to those of you who are managing contact centers all the time that 10 seconds agent handling time on average lost per call of 2 or 3 minutes is millions, actually. Like in a 100 agent team, that's the equivalent of 3 million a year that you're losing, right? So it's very significant when an agent doesn't have that frictionless workflow. So that's the first thing that happens, is that it really hits your bottom line, even if you can kind of ignore it because it's happening under the radar and you've got used to the fact that that's happening, and the agents have got used to it because they're working with it, and so they get used to the workarounds, and it just, business continues, everybody continues their work. But if you really get into it, you find, it's actually costing you millions for every 100 agents or so. The other thing that happens, of course, is that it's more difficult to train agents, and since there's constant churn in most contact centers to some extent because people move on, it's not a job that people always stay in forever, although some people do, of course, make a career out of it. But there's certainly a lot of churn going on, therefore a lot of training, and training becomes very difficult if your workflows are partially broken, right? So it takes quite a while to get the agent to the point where they're ignoring the flaws which stumped them in the beginning. And so you've got this cost. Again, a lot of contact centers, you'll find that, because you're busy with other things, you will accept that, but it doesn't mean that you're in a good position, especially when we see most of the markets that we're active in, e-commerce, financial services, etc. They're like brutally competitive B2C spaces now, so it's not like a company can really afford to have bad service or to be wasting the time of their consumers, or it's a real competitive disadvantage nowadays if you can't optimize those flows. And what we also see is that you get really big tools that are really expensive, like Salesforce Service Cloud, one of the most sold service cloud or case management systems in the market, but one of the least utilized. So you'll see it in the business, but most of the capability of integrating it into all of your flows and helping agents to use it better is actually not deployed at all. It's like that's actually the 70% case I see when dealing day to day, and when our teams are dealing day to day with contact centers, is that you're not actually doing what you could do even on your existing tools. And I think this is something that you really have to tackle, because it costs money and it costs agent churn and additional training costs as well.